This is Rami, the host of Talk2Rami podcast. Before I start my show today, I want to tell you about the recent products that I have received from Wild by Nature. The first one, which is designed for sleeping, legal THC, is sleeping gummies. You should try this. And the second one, which is my favorite one, is a simple CBD drops. Put it under my tongue and I get my day going. If you would like to order these products, check the link in my description. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Talk2Rami. As I always say, if you like this episode, please share it, and you can leave your comments below and let us know. Let us know what you think and who you want me to interview next. But today, I have Wayne Smith in the studio, a fantastic entrepreneur, real estate investor, and the founder of Pretty Cute Coffee. That's a great name, by the way. We're going to talk about life, entrepreneurship, work that we all need to learn. Wayne, welcome to the program, man.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. I'm really happy that you are here. And off the camera, we talk about the coffee and the people that they love the coffee. How did you get into the first coffee, and why did you decide to be an entrepreneur? That's a tough world.
Yeah. I think, to get into coffee, I think the questions are maybe a little tied together as far as the answer goes. I got into entrepreneurship, started off with doing some real estate investing, like you mentioned, and I determined that I wanted to kind of have more freedom in my life. And if I was going to work to, make a living, that I wanted to be the one in charge of that, be kind of in charge of my own destiny, because I knew that I could rely on myself and my work ethic to achieve what I wanted to. I knew that I was going to be there. I was going to show up and do what I needed to get done to make my business successful. And so coffee, honestly, besides just loving coffee and drinking it every day, maybe too much, the profit margins are really great on coffee. When you get into the food service industry, your profit margins are much more narrow. But with coffee, when you go to the store and you order a cup of coffee or you go to Starbucks, the beans that go into that cup is probably 5 to 10 cents worth of coffee beans. The cup is another 5 to 10 cents, the sticker, all that. The rest of it is all profit, all the labor markup. And so, my business partner at the time and I decided to let's start this coffee concept. But knowing coffee, it is a really crowded market. There's a lot of people that sell coffee.
It's very crowded.
Yeah. And so we were just trying to think, how can we set ourselves apart? And we initially wanted to do, like we chatted about, a mushroom coffee shop, which is pretty synonymous with the Austin culture. And then from there, we realized that you couldn't really make a good mushroom coffee unless you added a lot of sugar or maple syrup or some other kind of sweetener in there, which kind of went against the health benefits of the mushrooms. So we landed on the idea of Pretty Cute Coffee. So all of our drinks, if you look at our menu, are cute. We have a line of what we call super bloom lattes, either espresso based or matcha based, and we use plant-based, fruit or vegetable powders like blue butterfly pea flower, pitaya, purple sweet potato, and we add that into the traditional latte, and it creates this very colorful concoction. And you get some kind of health benefit too. All these powders are third-party tested, organic, and so you're getting some kind of benefit. Red beet powder, all that kind of stuff, and they taste pretty good. I've been pleasantly surprised by how all of our concoctions taste. And there's definitely crowd favorites. Some people really like the Lala Lavender. Some people really love the shrooms. And so, got into coffee and have learned a lot since then. A lot.
The learning curve of, even getting into hospitality or food or coffee is a lot, and it's tough road because, as you said, competition is high.
Yeah.
And you got to be unique. You got to have that differentiation point. What actually makes us different is what kind of value we're going to offer. Because, you can go buy your own beans and start grinding it and make a coffee in the morning, which is some people do. But why are you going to drink it or what value you create, that's a different story. But what are your values? Like, based on what model did you build this?
Right. So we wanted to, we kind of discovered that as we built the brand. We started off thinking, hey, let's make a coffee shop. Let's be different than any other coffee shop. That way we can draw in some of the crowd that would, normally go to coffee shop A, B, or C. But then as we built the brand, we realized that there's more to the idea behind it rather than just cute coffee. And so we have, we try to have some partnerships that are philanthropic with like Austin Pets Alive. So we have a little side brand that we've been trying to build up called Pretty Cute Pups, which is everyone in Austin loves dogs. And so it's basically the dogs of the owners that come visit our coffee shop. We have like a puppuccino, which
Oh my God,
you
yeah.
can get at Starbucks.
My dogs, I love that thing.
Yeah, the dogs go crazy for it. So we do that kind of stuff and then try to give that back to like, Austin Pets Alive, or
That's a great cause, yeah.
yeah. And we actually have a mobile cart that we have recently developed, and it's basically a full service espresso bar with nitro cold brew on tap, and it looks really, really cute. And we can roll that out to an event and, do corporate events, weddings, his or hers kind of drinks for wedding events, which has been really popular.
And what can you make?
We can make it has a full espresso machine. So I can make like you'd go to a coffee shop, I can make any drink, cold brew or hot, latte, cappuccino, any of our specialty drinks. We can make the whole thing.
Basically, if somebody has a connecting event,
yeah.
By the way, I call networking event, connecting event.
Yeah.
I don't believe business cards, but
yeah.
Sorry, folks,
Yeah.
but that would be great for a breakfast time. You roll the the espresso bar into the early morning connecting events, and then people they can order all this stuff rather than go get a coffee.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been really popular. We've had a lot of really great business partnerships with some downtown Austin businesses that have had us come back multiple times. So that's been nice. But we also we're trying this holiday season. It's our first time having this cart during the holiday season. We're trying to give back, and so we reached out to some nonprofits here in town. So we have an event next week at the Ronald McDonald House, which is my wife and I, we personally really love donating to them just in general, because their mission is just really admirable. So we're going to go out there on the 12th, and we're going to just give free coffee to everyone there, the staff, the families that are there. And I'm really excited. I'm more excited about that than I would be for probably a paid event. And that's one of the benefits of being a business owner is you get to give back in the way you choose to, the things that matter to you. And so, yeah, I think we've just kind of, to answer your original question, I think we've kind of realized the brand identity as we want to bring something carefully curated to the market and be thoughtful about how we operate. So we try to do really well as far as how we pay our employees. Try to pay above market average, try to help out as much as we can with fringe benefits, that kind of stuff, and really create a positive working environment because everyone wants to go to work and enjoy what they're doing or enjoy their
That's the key, man. I always tell everybody, make sure if any place that you want to work, just keep this in mind that you got to be happy. Mm-hmm. It's so important you go to work and you're going to be fulfilled and happy for what you do.
Yeah. And,
we have seen so many people, as, you just mentioned, they go to work and they are not happy. They are miserable.
Yeah.
Because, and that's when you are miserable and still you get pay, you just kind of pay your bills and you're not really fulfilled and life is not going to be sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. But this is so important for everybody to understand that, being happy at your workplace is so important.
Yeah, yeah. It really
you just mentioned something very interesting, and you said you and your wife, and you work with your wife. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. She has a full-time job. She works as a data scientist for Amazon. but she's an equal partner with me in decision making.
How that things work, like being a partner with your spouse, because I have seen so many partnerships, fell apart due to husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, they started a business. How you guys separating the business with personal?
Yeah, I think
This is great things for you people if you want to listen. And you're gonna get into business with your ex, with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever it is. Listen to this. This is a good one.
Yeah, I would say the communication is key. Communication, 100%, just like most aspects of a relationship. But my wife is like my greatest cheerleader. She is very supportive of everything that I've chosen to do, but she's also very good. She adds a very interesting lens of what about this, another perspective that I may not think of sometimes. She's from a former Soviet bloc country, Kazakhstan,
Oh
and
yeah.
we both grew up in similar households, but in very different parts of the world.
The cultural differences is there.
They are there for sure. But she's been an amazing partner to me in the business ventures that we've pursued together. Offered support, very clear communication as far as like, I don't think this is a good idea. I think it is. And separating the business from the personal for us is more so just setting good boundaries when it comes to how we communicate as a couple. So we have weekly family meetings, even though it's just her and I. And
Wow.
and we try to talk about
And
every
we do
Sunday.
that too with my wife. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's super beneficial. Even if you don't think you have something to talk about, you start talking, and then you realize, oh, well, actually, I do have that event on Tuesday, and oh, there is a thing I was thinking about ordering this for the business. What do you think about this new idea? It's been very, very helpful to have because you have a very clear time of like, at this point during the week or during the month, we're going to talk about these things, and like you come prepared to talk about those. Yeah, that's been really great for us. Like we haven't, knock on wood, if this is real wood right here, we haven't had too many issues where we've had severe disagreements over how we want to
But
pursue it.
don't you think that's actually is working because you as a person you are open to feedback,
Yes, and
getting
yeah,
it and analyzing it, and because some people they're not open to feedback. They ask for the feedback.
yeah,
By the moment that you give them the feedback and they said, "Oh, okay, I don't think so," I want to do that. But I think one of the key elements of this partnership that you have with your wife is that I think you both are open to feedback and taking it and actually sleep on it. And if it's right, do it. Is that right?
very much so. Part of being a business owner, or I would hope a successful business owner, is learning to take feedback from your customers, your employees, your business partners, investors, and sometimes it is not easy to hear those things
And it's not
because
pleasant.
it's not pleasant because you have the vision, you're in the middle of it, and in your mind, this is just, oh my gosh, this is my baby, this is perfect, I'm so excited about this, and then someone comes in with a really good point. Well, I don't know if you should do that because have you thought about this? And it can be hard not to take those things personally sometimes because it's maybe your idea, and so this is a reflection, you think, of this person not liking your idea, when in reality they're just able to take a step back and have a different view. And there have been many times where my wife or other people have said things and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and then I think about it, like you said, sleep on it, and I come to the same conclusion they had, and it's been great. And that's a benefit of having so many good friends and coworkers and people that are involved in your life, that you build the relationships with people where you welcome in that kind of feedback. You don't push it away. You want to be able to take good feedback. So yeah, that's a key. That's very key. We would not be where we're at now if
And
I had
it's
not.
that I think that's for any business. It doesn't matter what business you are in. You with your investors, with your clients, with a customer, with your spouses. you got to be open to feedback and take action and correct it, because as I said, we take the feedbacks, we ask for it, but we're not doing anything for it.
Yeah.
And I think because people, they don't want to, accept the personal responsibility, because everything that you have done so far, you were the sole responsible person for it. The moment you made the decision that I don't want to go for corporate, I don't want to have a job. You're very capable of getting a job, very smart individual, and you said, no, I want to be entrepreneur. I want to do what I love to do. But with that, it comes a lot of stuff.
It does, yeah, and it's. I will not pretend that it's not. I
You had your rough days too.
I have a lot of rough days, or we have days where we're not making the profit that I would love for us to be making, and I know that there's people that are relying on me for their paychecks, and then there's this whole, hey, I've got to work to get it done. I've got to work to make the business successful. But then also wanting to eventually grow the business, scale it, and be able to step back to have other people run it. Like with our real estate portfolio, it's much more hands off. I am much less involved. I still manage everything, but I don't have to go to my rental properties every day. Like I have to go interact with my employees every day at the coffee shop. I don't have to order, inventory every week or deal with bills or pay this. It's much more hands off, but it's also, coffee is much more of a passion project, and there's also a lot of scalability there in ways that in real estate it takes much more capital to scale sometimes in those ways, whereas when you have when you have sales coming in and you can market it a certain way, and it location, especially with a coffee shop, it's just a different animal. But yeah, there's definitely a lot to think about when you're in your head about the business and how it's going. So some scary days.
I consult with restaurants and some coffee people and all that stuff. There is nothing wrong. I always tell them there's nothing wrong to have a business, and it generates money. But the question is, are you going to work in it, or you want to work on it? Mm-hmm. You want to scale it, or are you just going to be an employee? And this is what they say. Oh, I'm my own boss, and I own my business. I said, okay, what time you come to work? 8. What time you leave? 6. You're an employee.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. They're not gonna accept it because they think they make all the decision. That title as an owner operator makes them that think they're gonna scale it. Because if you cannot scale it, I always say that you have a job.
Right.
And then if you can scale it, then you can scale it.
Right.
But if you have one location and you're happy, you make money, that's good. That's a good job, good paying job.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it if you're happy with it. But if you want to scale it, you have to scale it. Then you have a business, and you got to fire yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Every day you got to think about this. If you want to scale any business like yours, I tell all my clients, if you want to scale it, find a way to fire yourself.
Yeah, and that it's true that the biggest cost for any business is salary, and I know that I could save money by working my coffee shop myself, being at one of the locations.
Absolutely.
But I rarely do. I mean, occasionally I'll go into I want to stay familiar with stuff, but I have employees that I have there every day. It costs me money. I know that I'm spending a considerable amount of money employing them, but I also know that I'm now free to go work on business partnerships, to work on second and third locations, to work on growing the business in ways that only I can, that not my employees are going to do, because it's not their business. They don't have as much of a stake in it. And it is hard because I see the money going out when I do payroll, but I also know that, okay, intrinsically there's a value to me not being there. And so luckily I've been able to be very hands off in the sense of I'm not in the shop, unless I'm dropping something off or meeting a new employee. I know a lot of people that are owner operators, like you mentioned, and some of them love it. They're very happy. They have one truck, and they're working it and they have artisanal, whatever it is. And
There's nothing
it's
wrong
amazing.
with it.
Nothing wrong with it at all. But like you said, what time do you get to work? 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 6 a.m.
Yeah.
If you're a baker. What time do you leave? 6. And then you go home and you do the books, you pay taxes, you order inventory, you look at your stock, you review this, I got to fix that sink leak that we have. All the things that are not glamorized in all the movies we see about, owning, food trucks or like chef's table, all these crazy things. And so there's nothing wrong with either either way you choose to pursue it. But for me, I want to grow it. And so, yeah.
There's a difference between work to live or live to work. I always tell people, you can work. Most of us, we work to live.
Yeah.
We go to work, pay the bills. I'm going to do this. And then you work in order to live.
Yeah.
And if you want to, but I really like to live and work.
Yeah.
In order to do that, you have to be open. You have to be vulnerable. You got to pay the price. You got to go, have a rough days. All comes as a package.
Yeah.
And we, as a human, we want everything in the instant gratification, and we want everything quick and easy way out. It's not working, folks. Yeah, go listen to it. It's not working.
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't build all this, pretty cute coffee overnight. You had so many meetings with your partner. You say, oh, can we do it? Where we're going to get money? Where we're going to do this? We all went through that.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task, but if you have a vision, you can build it.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to have, the vision is the most important part, and the wherewithal to really see it through, because, I self-funded this business, and
bootstrapping.
Bootstrapping. It took a considerable amount of capital that, I could have invested. I could have, my wife, would have loved to take some trips with that. Maybe we could have gone to Europe a couple times. But you have to believe in that long-term vision of, hey, this is going to be worth something that is beyond what we can really fathom right now, what we can see right now. And one of my favorite quotes, because that has become even more applicable to my life since becoming a business owner, is comparison is the thief of joy.
Wow,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
And so I look at other people sometimes that I'm like, oh, this other coffee shop just opened their 5th location. I'm like, how are they doing it? Or, oh, this person just got all this funding from this. Oh, what am I doing wrong? And I have to, there's no good outcome by pursuing those thoughts. There really isn't, except you just work yourself into a spiral. And so I choose to focus on the good, what I can do, how I can grow it. And now I'm starting to reach that point where I have some employees that I'm being able to develop into not only taking over some of the responsibilities I had, but to being more business-minded themselves. And that is super amazing to watch. So seeing someone kind of realize for the first time, like, oh, like this would be really great if I was like, if I have control over this, and I'm not just a part of the system, I can cause change on myself. I can be a part of what makes this successful. That's really cool to see. I love trying to help other people out. I'm a big proponent of investing in real estate and
because when you created a business, especially these days, when you create a business such as yours or any other concept, you're creating jobs. Mm-hmm. And that's the great value to offer the society, to this country. And then when you create jobs, you got to help those people. Because those people, they have vision, they got dreams, they got goals. And if you can help them to reach their goals, ultimately, you are successful.
Yeah, that's a big thing is, there's a lot, like most of our employees are in school or they're out of school and they're trying to focus on, what they want to do next in life. It's not often that you go to a coffee shop and you see a barista and they're like, I've been doing this for 35 years, so I'm going to retire. Like that, it's not that type of field. But if I take someone that is like a manager per se, and I develop them into an operations manager, and I develop them into like hey, you're going to be our, store manager for 4 stores and eventually run our warehouse. And then we're a company that has, 401k and benefits and this and that. That can be a career in which, maybe that person gets ownership, a small ownership stake in the future, because that is how valuable that is to me. Is like, hey, if you can help me grow this business, I'm willing to give you a piece of the pie that you helped grow. But it's all a learning experience. Every day, I was talking to your team outside. It's just I've learned so much.
Oh, we all do, man. We all do. And I always tell the young adults that they're getting even out of the college or prior to that high school, I say go get a job as a barista, Starbucks, wait tables or whatever. It's a great stepping stone to learn from people, engage with the society, and just learn.
Yeah.
Just learn. And that would be an amazing thing for that person to learn from other people and start implementing it to his or her life, because I'm not saying that all is good, but we learn. We, at the end of the day, we are social animals. We got to be in the tribe.
Yeah.
And you are in the tribe, you start learning. Like, I agree with you. Being a barista, it might not be a career for 35 days, but you know how many people you interact with?
A lot, yeah.
If you're an introvert, you want to be an extrovert, or you want to say, oh, I need to get out there. I want to go talk to people. That's the best position for you.
Yeah.
If you want to be a manager, that can be a career, but you got to start it from being a barista, or learn the whole business and go up the ladder. And one day you got to be a director of operation.
Yeah, and you never know who you're going to meet or how. Like in
That's
a lot of these customer-facing jobs, I was in banking right out of basically out of high school and then through college. I was in banking and started off as a bank teller. And I've always been really extroverted, but I met so many business owners that would come to my teller window. And I would just, after you start doing deposits and talking to them, you get to know them after months and years. I've made so many good business connections that I still have to this day. And those people also helped shape me and open my eyes to the world of being a business owner. And it really isn't, it is about money to a degree, right? We all want to have money to be able to live life and provide for our family and set something aside. But it's also about the lifestyle that you want to have. And I think one of the ways that my wife and I are just very aligned is that we want to have a lifestyle that, we put the hard work in, but we're smart with our money and not, I think if you follow that traditional path, the way that society tells you to go, you're not always going to get the success that, maybe that works most of the time for most of the people. But I want to be radically different. I want to do something different outside of that, and carve my own path to what I see success as, or what I see my, future, partially retired by 40, or not having to work a day job, or a corporate job and be making money for someone else and enjoy my life. Because you never know. You could have millions of dollars, but you could get hit by a bus tomorrow, or something could happen.
I feel you. I always tell everybody, money doesn't make you happy.
Yeah.
It brings you comfort. Money, yes, it solves a lot of problems, but that's not guarantee your happiness.
Yeah.
You have it as another tool.
Yeah.
And as you just said it, we're all going to go one day.
Yeah.
You came naked, you're going to go out naked.
Yep.
That's the name of the game. That's it. But I think one of the things that hold us so tight to this world is that greed, that I'm going to take everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen any U-Haul behind the hearse in my life.
Yeah.
Nobody can take anything with them.
Yeah.
And, and when you make money and then you give and help other people, you make more money and you would be more happy. I have so many people that I know that they got fancy cars, but the guy is not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Is miserable.
Yeah.
And he's got anything he wants, but
Yeah.
he's still miserable.
It's nice to drive that fancy car. I mean,
I'm driving a Toyota, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm driving a truck, and I probably would never, I love driving a truck. I don't think I'm going to trade that for some fancy sports car, even if I was,
But if you have a goal and you want to get that fancy sports car and you work hard for it, you're going to reward yourself. Go get it.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, if you want.
Go get it. I'm not putting them down. Oh, I'm not anti. No, just go get it. That makes you happy. You want a fancy car? Go get it. Work hard. Proud of you. Bravo.
Yeah.
But money does not make people happy.
100%. I think we're starting to see more of these, well-known celebrities, actors, influencers that are
Robert Williams.
that are just be like, hey, like it does give you comfort. Like you don't have to worry about where's my next meal going to come from, how am I going to pay my bills, but it doesn't address what's going on in your mind. And something that I've recently started thinking about. I love history. I love autobiographies of past presidents, famous thought thinkers, all these kind of people, and you're only the average person, you're only 2 or 3 generations away from no one really remembering your name. You'll be told someone, oh, my great uncle, oh, my great great grandfather, but eventually, even your name and all your deeds, they're not going to be really remembered on a regular everyday basis. And so for me, I'm like, well, how do I live the life that I have intentionally to where I don't care what people are going to say and think about me when I'm dead and gone. I want to create a better life for the people, for myself, my family, and the people around me, and just create like a really nice, enjoyable life where people are being taken care of and like benefit from. And like, I think everyone has something to teach someone.
Oh,
everyone
I
does.
100% agree with you.
Yeah.
The whole thing that I told you off the camera about the show is a learning platform.
Yep.
You don't know how much I have learned from the people like you that I have conversation.
Yeah.
Like a very genuine, transparent conversation, because nobody's perfect. Yes, I got a lot of experience in the field for what I do, but still I can learn.
Yeah. There's never a point where you can, I don't think there's a point where you can stop learning. And I don't mean to sound trite with saying all these things that I think a lot of people are going to resonate with. Like, of course, like, money doesn't buy happiness. Of course, you should try and be a good person. But it's a journey that I have struggled with and failed at sometimes and still do fail at. And I'm just doing my best, and I'm trying. And I want, thankfully there's more openness around just talking about mental health nowadays.
Oh my
than
God,
there was
we
before.
were just talking about that. The other day in one of my episodes, we were talking about that, about mental health. And I'm going to say it again, folks, you listen to it, that everybody thinking mental health means that they're going to put you in a psychiatric hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Like you crazy or really something wrong.
Yeah.
No, mental health is depression.
Yeah.
Mental health is PTSD. Mental health is just not happy with yourself.
Yeah.
Mental health is everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. You
Yeah.
can't just say that guy's crazy. You can't say that. We really have to take mental health very seriously.
Yeah.
And we can all help one another. If sometimes I'm not, out of alignments, I can go talk to my therapist. I can go talk to a psychologist. You start talking and you start creating that safety zone.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start talking, putting it out there and start visualizing and writing it down, you are there 70%.
Yeah.
But we not take it seriously. Like this shooting happens, all that stuff. Oh, it was a mental health case. Okay, what did you do for that person?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you try to educate them, talk to them? That's what I guess in this country we are suffering of, not understanding that what is mental health.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with everything you're saying. I personally struggled with anxiety and still do for a multitude of reasons, and sometimes I don't even understand the triggers or why. But through I had a meeting with my therapist this morning,
and I cannot right now call you, hey, Wayne, what's wrong with you? You crazy?
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious, man. A lot of people do that. When you say that, hey, I have anxiety and, I'm going to go see my therapist. Oh, really? What happened? What happened, man?
Yeah.
What's going on in your mind? You okay?
Yeah.
Are you trying to kill yourself?
Yeah.
What the heck you talking about?
Yeah.
I just have anxiety. I just, something more. I need to talk to somebody. Maybe I can find a solution.
Yeah.
And just...
we're just having a bad day.
What, you think that I'm crazy? I still go to work. I still serve people with a coffee and having fun. That doesn't mean... That's the perception that unfortunately we have toward mental health.
Yeah, it really is. And thank goodness that we're living in a time where it's becoming more normalized. I was never a huge proponent of therapy before I myself. I never had a bad view of it. I was just like, oh, that's good for those people. And I don't really think I need that. I can figure it all out on my own. And then I realized I'm like, I can't figure it out all on my own. Like, just like I learn in business or I learn from whomever, there are things that I need some help with. And it's crazy when when you're in a therapy session and you're just like watching someone else from an outside view kind of unpack something, and you make that connection in your mind of like, oh, wow, that the writing was on the wall. That makes so much sense. It's a very fulfilling, humbling experience. So
We all have this problem. You know that I need help.
yeah. Yeah.
If you can say this, I need help, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But people don't say that because they're going to be judged.
Yeah.
That's
There's a fear.
this is the sad thing about us, that we judge one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's not right. If you need help, let us know.
Yeah.
If I need help, I'll let you know. I'll let
Yeah.
you know. What can we do together
Yeah.
to be better, you know?
And that openness is honestly, I mean, it creates, I know it's very vulnerable to say that, it's hard for people who are maybe not in the space of being okay with mental health or talking about it or being vulnerable with their friends or whoever about it. But it really does, once you get to that point of being able to say it and it's scary and you tell your friend, like, maybe I need some help, I'm feeling like really anxious, I don't know what to do. Like, what do you think? Some of my best conversations and best experiences of my life have come from just taking that little step of being like a little afraid of being vulnerable and doing it. And also vice versa. Like when you have someone come to you and be like,
Yeah.
hey, like, can you help? That's a very,
It's very powerful.
It's very powerful to have someone come to you and be like, I need some help.
This is not only for the personal and business as well too. We call mental health.
Yeah.
We call business health.
Yeah.
We call physical health.
Yep.
We call it financial health.
Yeah.
Why we not freak out about financial health?
Yeah.
Oh,
boy.
dude, I'm going bankrupt. I have a financial health problem. Oh,
Yeah.
I got to put you in the hospital.
Yeah.
What is wrong with the mental health?
Yeah.
You know, it's financial help. You end up bankrupting if you're not doing your thing.
Yeah.
Mental help, if you're not doing it right now, you might be bankrupt
Yeah.
mentally.
Financial literacy too I have very fond memories of, I know there's a lot of opinions on the public school system in the United States, but I do think that teachers now are kind of more pigeonholed into just needing to teach their specific subject. But I remember when I was a child in the early 90s in school, my third grade math teacher came into class one day and she's like, all right, we're going to do a lesson. I'm going to teach you guys how to write a check. Like what a
Wow.
check. And she drew a giant check on the board and she's like, this is who you write it out to. Now, this is obviously before credit cards were more prevalent. But I use business checks now all the time. And I remember that's how I learned how to write a check. And like, that is just one small part of financial literacy. It's not even a part, it's just how to write a check. But having people that, I think financial literacy is something that they should be teaching that in schools.
I totally agree with you. Financial, it's very important, and especially when you're a young, person, and they become young adult, and you want to go to the society, you should know that.
Yeah.
Why at our schools we're not teaching that? Why at the schools we're not teaching mental health? How you can be a better person? Why we're not teaching them? How you cope with the problems? Yes, you're gonna teach them math. So okay, that's good, but why we not adding those to our school system and make the future generation better?
Yeah, I agree, and I hope. I think there are some schools that are starting to do that. I'm not sure if they're more elective classes or if they're more like part of the normal curriculum. But honestly, I've always been really obsessed with making budgets for myself since I was in high school. Like, have a little Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. And, part of that may be, a little bit of my thought process, the way my mind works. But it's crazy to me. I've done a lot of budgets for my friends, and a lot of people are just like, I don't know where like my money's going. Like, oh, like I have this bill, I have like 3 bills, I bring home this money. Like, money is a tricky thing. Like we talked about, it can't buy you happiness, but
You got to be able to manage
you
it.
got to be able to manage it, and you want it to be able to provide. You want to have enough money to go around and prepare for that rainy day if something, because there's always going to be a rainy day.
Oh, yeah.
There's always going to be a
Always.
rainy day, or a rainy month or a rainy season. So yeah, it's one of those things that's and I mean that's honestly that whole thing was how I got into one of the main reasons behind wanting to invest in real estate was I was like, you know what happens if, I know this is a very dark thought, but I was like, what happens if I can't go to work one day, if I'm paralyzed, or if I have like some kind of like I'm out of work for a year, how can I have the most passive type of income that I can have, where I don't have to go into the office every day, but I can still bring in some money. And I was like, well, real estate, I'll get some rental houses. And, I didn't know what I was doing when I did it, but I had tried my best. And now I feel like I'm, decently on track to be where I want to be, where I'm like, okay, like I have some money coming in. And even if I can't manage them in the future, I can get a management company and, they can manage it and I'll still make some money off this appreciating asset. And so it's a whole, financial literacy, money, and happiness is it's this whole thing that we're all explore. And same thing with financial literacy and money, and then also mental health is people are sometimes afraid to talk about it. They don't want to talk about their budget or how they it's still taboo to like, well, how much money do you make, or how much, like, what do you, it's a touchy subject.
When I go to businesses, the restaurant, and I do consulting, and say, okay, show me your P&L. Okay, what is your, believe it or not, how many times these people, they know what is their food cost?
That's crazy. I don't know how you do that.
Look, what is your food cost? That plate goes out. Do you know exactly the cost of that plate or the ingredient? They don't know.
Yeah, what's your cost of goods? Yeah.
What is the cost of goods? And then they have this fancy word in the thing, and they do it based on this, based on that. The accounting do it. But you actually, as an operator, what is, if you don't know the cost of your coffee cup, how you want to sell the coffee? How are you going to adjust your price?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll make $1 here. I'll make 30 cents. This is exactly the same thing. With other stuff, we got to really know the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I maybe this is a little bit too much, in the weeds, but I have, again, an Excel spreadsheet of every single menu item I have.
That
broken
works?
Down by, this costs 22 cents to add this into this cup, this powder, or this syrup, or this type of milk, and whatever it is. I mean, I have everything broken down.
Is it helping you to make better decisions?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we like most businesses, about a year ago, we had to do a slight price increase in our menu on some things, but I was able to look at, okay, well, this is how much the drinks cost me. This is how much my, inventory is going up in these few fields because of, inflation. And so this is the appropriate price increase I need to make to be able to still make a profit. And so, I mean, I think it was like a 30-cent increase to some of our drinks, which is not terrible. You're paying $5 now, you're paying $5.30. I knew a lot of businesses, a lot of other coffee shops that were more chain coffee shops that I saw the prices go up $1 a drink during the big inflation we had this last year. And, or like $1 to I went to a coffee shop the other day and I asked for, I was like, oh, can you put whole milk in there instead of half and half? Oh, okay, sure. And there was $1 upcharge to switch out whole milk, which is cheaper than half and half. And I know that because I order them. And so I think that's kind of, that, I guess being a business owner, you're always going to compare, other coffee shops or other whatever your industry is, be doing a lot of comparison. But I try to see those things like, okay, well, what can I do better? Or if I go to a coffee shop, I always look behind the bar, how they have things set up. And I'm like, that's a really good way to do that. Or I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe they should put this. And I've told people before, I'm like, hey, I don't know if you guys have thought about this, but I have a coffee shop and I usually put the grinder and the tamp mat closer to this because it makes more sense when you're turning around.
Efficiency.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, wow. Thank you. Like, and so,
you always can learn,
Yeah.
I go to these restaurants and believe it or not, they even don't know the basics. And some they're good, some they know, but they increase their menu price, but they don't know how much the food costs. And how you do that? Oh, the price of meat went up. I said, okay. And did you calculate it? Did you,
How much per unit? Yeah.
how much per unit? What's going on? What you going to do? No, we're going to just increase here $1. We're going to do $2 here. We're going to.
Oh boy.
I said, how you manage? How you do that?
Yeah.
They really don't know. As you said, we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And they're not asking for help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big thing is you've got to, I ran and we did a experiment one time where we changed the price, these specialty lattes we do, they require a lot more work than making a normal latte. I mean, you're taking 3 to 4 extra steps on top of steaming the milk, adding espresso, putting in a cup. You're doing the syrups and powders and this and that. You're layering it. You're making sure everything's right. It's time and steps. And we're like, this is really this is what makes us unique in the coffee space, but also it takes so much more time. We should probably charge a little bit of a premium. And we tried increasing the price to a point that I think was unreasonable, not crazy, but about $7 a drink. And we definitely saw a drop off because we're just like, well, the time that we're spending on these drinks is so much. So we've kind of had to realize, okay, well, this is what makes us unique, but we have to realize that the time goes into making these drinks. So now we've approached it of, okay, well, how can we eliminate and make some of these other steps that are time consuming? How can we make them more efficient? That way we can achieve both means, keep the price down, but also still be unique and have these cute drinks that everyone wants to come take.
No, you can transfer boxes by holding it 2 at a time, or you can use a dolly.
Yeah. There's
same thing.
There's a lot. Yeah, that's a perfect example. Yeah, I'm like work smarter, not harder.
As a matter of fact, I did that in a restaurant. I saw the guy, the Cisco food truck was dropping the food, and this guy was going like a $1, $2 by himself. And I was thinking, I told the guy, how long is he going to be there? He said, it's going to take him 4 hours, and he's going to be on the clock for 4 hours. I said, really? Why don't give him a dolly that he can do 2? He's going to cut it to 2 hours, for example. He said, oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I said, what's wrong with you? And, I have so many stories like that. People, this is the good one. They say, I don't have a marketing budget.
Yeah.
You hear that all the time from businesses. I don't have a marketing budget. Why? Oh, I don't have it because I got other costs. I said, okay, let's walk through your business. I did this with the business, with the restaurant. When I opened the point of sale system, and they had an item, fish, tilapia. I look at the past 2 months, he sold probably 5 orders. I go to the freezer, I look at it, 4 cases of tilapia sitting there. Mm-hmm. I go back, look at the cost. I said, okay, close to $1,200 is sitting there in the past 4 months. Mm-hmm. And I said, why are you using it? Why are you not taking it out of your menu? Oh, people might order, I said, every month, maybe 1%. Yeah. That shows they don't like it.
Yeah.
Take it out, and then you save $200. The same thing that they don't lock their linen closets. Everybody goes, get a towel, get a linen, and then the linen cost goes up to the roof and say, oh, my linen is high. I say, lock the door, distribute 4 at the beginning of each shift, give them 4, and then you're done. Mm-hmm. And use a bleach bucket. They don't know the basic, and the cost goes high. I have so many stories like that, but it's all about education, as you said, and doing it every day. Yeah. Like being a business, being an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter what field, technology, your coffee, or anything.
Yeah.
You got to study every day. You got to really keep up with the things.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know, and I think through, like I've said a couple times, like I've learned so much through this process, things that I never would have thought that I should like milk like we're storing milk bad before, but proper milk storage of the best way to buy, milks and this and that and to store them. This, like organizing the layout of a shop to where it's like, okay, well, this isn't like a normal kitchen where you're cooking food. This is you have to think about where people are going to be standing, how they're going to turn around when they get drinks, if they're getting an order, and this is how, like, there's so many logistical things beyond just the physical of like, okay, when people are here, and when people are here when it's slow versus when it's busy, and I have 3 people working this area compared to 1. When it's 1 person, they don't have to worry about turning around with a hot cup of coffee. They can do whatever they want. But when there's 3 people, okay, I got to make sure that it's easy for them to turn around, do that. They're not going to hit someone or stab someone with a knife if they're like cutting lemons for lemonade or like whatever it is. Like everyone is in their own place and they can work efficiently. We had to learn that the hard way. Our truck was, when we first rolled out, our coffee truck was not set up the most efficient way. And it caused a lot of, bumping elbows and heartache.
And you learn as you go. You learn the operation efficiency. You go and say, how can I be more efficient? And you learn, you ask for help, you read, you implement, and you keep going.
Yeah.
This entrepreneurship, this business is a constant work.
Yeah.
But if you love it, it's fun.
Oh, it's super fun.
It's super fun if you love it. But if you just go in there, I want to make money, this is a cliche. Everybody, what do you want to do? I want to make money.
Yeah.
Okay, go get a job.
I could make more money going back to my tech job than I
Me
would
too,
doing this.
I can't work in corporate. I'm sorry, folks out there. I can't do it.
Yeah, I did that for so long, and then I juggled both for so long. I had, my full-time job and had rental properties. Then we started a management company. Then we did the coffee truck. And my wife was just telling me the other day, she's like, you are sleeping so much better. Like your sleep, your stress level, ever since leaving my corporate job and being like, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on. Maybe I'm not making all the money I was making before, or this, or, the benefits or the security of a big corporate job, but I am now in control of 100% of the ship. And down the road, hopefully it's going to be worth it.
That's what my question is. What is the future of pretty cute coffee? Where do you see it going?
Honestly, we would love to expand into other markets. So, my wife and I lived in San Antonio for a couple of years before moving to Austin. I think we'd love to open something down in San Antonio. That's where we have most of our rental properties. So I'm already down there ever so often. And I think it's a really good market for it. We've been in partnership with a few really great organizations here in Austin. And now everyone's favorite sport, pickleball, is taking off, and we love it. And
it will die one day. Like it will slow down.
It will slow down, yeah.
Like other stuff.
Right now, it's on the rise, but there's a few organizations here in town that are thinking about it in a very unique way, where it's like, hey, there's pickleball, but there's also co-working and some other spaces, and this and corporate events, to where it's like you're not reliant. Like if pickleball dies one day, you have other things to supplement. You're building an all-in-one kind of stop. And so we're trying to partner. Early on we started doing some pickleball events with our mobile cart, and it went really well. And we got into the community because we also play pickleball. And so another way that we see ourselves expanding in the future is being kind of the coffee of pickleball. So for that, maybe just an Austin specific.
But your concept is great. Rolling the coffee thing to the event. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
And, you can even go front of the big company for certain hours and say, hey, don't go to Starbucks, I'm here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do that.
There's a lot of people that want their morning coffee. And, there's different vibes for coffee shops. I want to go study. I want to go on a date. I want to just get some coffee. I want to have like a afternoon pick-me-up. Maybe it's a morning ritual on your way to work. That used to be my thing, is I would stop at the same coffee shop every morning on my way to work. I knew the baristas. It was like a very therapeutic, like, this is so nice. Like I'm getting my every day part of my ritual. And you're getting that good dopamine rush from getting the coffee and all that kind of stuff. So, that's what you want to build. You want to build those good times. And overall, I want to have fun. I want our employees to have fun. I want to enjoy life. I don't want to do something that I'm miserable at.
That's the key, man. That's the key.
Yeah.
You just said it. You don't want to do something that you're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
And we both telling you as listeners, as viewers, go do something you love.
Yeah.
What is it? Life is too short. If you want to do something you don't love and be miserable, what is the point?
Yeah.
Do what you love. But I can talk to you all day, man.
Yeah.
I know, you got this like a very limited time, but thank you, Wayne. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I learned so much from you, and I definitely come and check the coffee.
Yes, for
really,
sure.
I love your concept. We will definitely do that, and I'm looking forward for our next seating. Hopefully, you say, "Hey, I got like 20 and more trucks."
That'd be great. Yeah, we'll come to your next connecting event.
Yeah. We do that. Yeah. Thank you so much, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Thank you.
All right.